New report indicates that J.J. Abrams' Star Trek films are dead at Paramount. And I'm like, okay, good, right? Because this signals that they're going forward. But where did they find this? And holy hell, Variety put quite the write-up on Ellison and Paramount and what they're doing. They are terrified of what is happening right now, terrified of them getting Warner Brothers. I had some of the more prescient things highlighted here. While the spectacle might sound like a discarded scene from the 2006 dystopian comedy Idiocracy, they're talking about MMA being on the front lawn of the White House. We're going to have some of our first fights there. It provides a glimpse into Ellison's rising empire. One that, and here's where I said they said it like a slur, one that skews alpha male and that some fear will entwine the studio's content more closely with MAGA messaging. We are returning to the male gaze. That's right. We're going back. They're going to start going to middle Americans again instead of, you know how we always talk about everyone says, oh, it was so timely.
So they mentioned Warner's there. That quote there, he says, we're going after Warner's.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. So thoughts on James Gunn now when you read this?
I have to tell a story through the articles, and I lead up and I end with that. So you gotta let me start with this. Though.
I have something relevant to your message. What made me love Glenn Powell was Twisters, and when I stood up to leave, I went, I can't believe they made a movie for me here in the Midwest. They actually made a movie for a normal Midwestern white guy, and I was very happy with that.
Superman did.
That terrifies
They're afraid we might get a little bit more of that.
Superman did the same thing with his parents, the Kents. That was Midwest.
Oh, you mean those big dumb fucking hicks that you could barely understand what they were saying? Yes.
Oh, but Leon says everyone is like that in the Midwest.
Yeah, I bet he did.
There is
this
an
part
accent like that.
This part. It's also like all of the media skews to the left and or is outright. If you want to know why half the country thinks the other half is Nazis and thinks that ICE or Gestapo, it's because it's told to them and depicted in every single way, from Homelander to, you know what I'm saying? All the
one
battle after another, everywhere they look in most media companies, that is the view of America or an America that they show. Earth X, oh, this place is better than ours, whatever the fuck. Or no better, whatever, the same. This now, Paramount doing this and possibly even Warner Brothers would change that. And it would take away a huge chunk of the straight up propaganda being spit out into the zeitgeist of America.
Elon buying X.
Yes, that was another big thing. And it would break academia. Right. So everywhere they go, you see the same thing, that the evil alpha males, the manosphere, we're going after Warner's, Ellison told confidants, even before the Paramount deal got the Trump administration's approval. I want to be in the top 3, not the bottom 3. By the accounts of many industry insiders, Ellison has been busy leveraging his family's extraordinary wealth and access to President Trump to prepare for a buying spree. With the help of his father, Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, the world's second richest man behind Elon Musk, on record, by the way, because these fucking oil barons and shit, they're way richer.
Nobility and stuff.
Yeah, that's
continents.
Just, you don't know it because they're not trading the same way. Silicon Valley scion wants to take on Netflix, Amazon, and Apple. In the hyper-competitive Ellison family, there's no prize for being runner-up. If the Ellisons pull it off, they'll control a media empire with unprecedented reach and cultural influence. And that is exactly what fucking terrifies them.
Because these people aren't entertainment writers. They're political writers who are just stuck writing about entertainment.
Correct. Most of the people writing the media and television shows and all the things that we are consuming are made by absolutely ideologue leftists who hate the fucking source material, the Witcher rooms, the people that are going to come in and write season 2 of X-Men 97 and completely fucking change it, and 3 and 4.
All of our entertainment people want to be in politics. Meanwhile, all of our politics people want to be in entertainment.
So it terrifies them. Sorry. Continuing along. It's the Wild West, and these are the new cowboys, says producer John Peters, who ran Sony Pictures from 1989 to 1991. Peter says he has taken a 400 million plus stake, roughly 4% in Paramount, since it began trading on the NASDAQ as PSKY. Things have changed, Peter adds. And now we're moving into the biggest revolution that you and I will ever see in our life, which is AI, which specifically Ellison said he wants to use data to see what people want.
The NASDAQ symbol is literally pesky. And that's what Paramount, that's what Skydance is going to be to Hollywood. Incredibly pesky. They are the enemy. So it used to be they would simp hard for Disney, and then like Warner Brother and Sony they could shit on, and then all of a sudden we had the weird switch over to they can shit on Disney now and love on Warner Brothers. Now they all got the message: attack Skydance, Paramount, attack, and then if they get Warner Brothers, all that Warner Brothers like love, what's that gonna do? The shilling gonna continue? All of a sudden their paychecks are gonna say, hey, you're supposed to love Paramount Skydance now. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Disney's playing catch up, but they're also doing a lot of stupid things. Like right now with the YouTube TV shit, they're losing like $5 million a day on that thing, and they're like, people are like, not
Perfect
even
segue. What you just said. No, the catch up part.
Yeah, the catch
playing catch up, because this is a game of catch up. Yeah,
and it's old media versus new media, and then transitioning, which is what
they're buying Fubo and
all that.
So it even says, look,
tech bros buying Hollywood.
They also believe that even if traditional studios like Paramount and Warner Brothers combine, Netflix and the other streaming giants are so much better established that it is nearly impossible to catch up. Studios are irrelevant. They're on the ropes. They're dinosaurs, and the age of dinosaurs is over, says Schuyler Moore, a partner at Greenberg Glusker. Their only move now is to consolidate.
Sorry, we're trying to de-radicalize Isaac. Okay, sorry.
Continue. I'm sorry, Isaac. It's not going to get better. You and Fat Low, but yeah, the Jews are going to be responsible for a lot.
I'm sorry.
Their only move now is to consolidate, but there's no hope. Even if they get bigger, they're too late to the party, but not according to David Ellison, who projects an image of Paramount as a land of abundance. He wants more content, not less. And they talk about increasing their content. They clearly have a long-term point of view. They have a plan to invest in more compelling content, and they are executing it. Since taking over Paramount, Team Ellison has embraced Mark Zuckerberg's mantra of move fast and break things, spending money freely, like purchasing Barry Weiss's The Free Press, a fledgling Substack-based news outlet for $150 million, and now she obviously is in charge of CBS. How's that working out for him, Erwin? Any sort of return to journalistic integrity?
Yeah,
Trump just did the 60 Minutes interview.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was. And here's where you guys are going to get real, because they do mention it. Taking a page from the MAGA playbook, Ellison doesn't seem to care about optics. This is the 1,000 people layoffs that they said, even some people who had been there quite some time. One staffer says that the auspiciously fell on those who were reporting featured an anti-Israel bent, including foreign correspondent Deborah Pada, who had been covering the war in Gaza for the past 3 years. A source close to Paramount says the October layoffs were not motivated by MAGA politics or gender, but Israel is an important issue. Larry Ellison is reportedly a close friend of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and a prolific donor.
Ellison is Jewish. He's allowed to not want to hire people or like people who hate him. Even if we disagree with him, he owns the company. I would also get rid of people who hate me.
And more coming up on that later, because they apparently have a list of actors that they view as anti-Semitic. So
yeah, I know. I love that.
You have to talk about it, right?
The woke on woke violence. It's beautiful.
I love it. Despite the disagreements over strategy, there's a shared sense of urgency around the need to fundamentally transform Paramount. Key sentence. As the new executive leadership recognizes it must move fast to pull off its grand plans. In addition, and they talk about signing on James Mangold and the Duffer Brothers. This is where they say that the hope is to have a fresh Star Trek movie, though the studio has moved on from the idea of bringing back Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and the rest of the ensemble from JJ's Abram, because fuck JJ Abram. And then they mention Top Gun and Days of Thunder. Yes, it is also working on sequels to Top Gun and Days of Thunder.
I love
the
Days
film
of Thunder.
starring Tom Cruise recently visiting and we're hoping for some sort of switchover.
Well, remember during F1 we talked about the Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt,
yes,
wanted to do something or whatever.
Yeah, give me that.
Some of the films Paramount is greenlighting include a movie about a cowboy and his dog searching for his missing daughter that's been likened to a Western version of Taken. We're described as an American-centric and geared toward the middle of the country. Bro, it's fucking happening.
Cowboy John Wick. Yeah, let's go.
It's happening. And then, of course, they talk about the biggest hit, losing Taylor Sheridan, for all the different reasons. It's a huge loss for them. If you look at the Paramount Plus, Sheridan's responsible for 90% of their successful programming.
Here's a question. I have a question.
I'm loving it too. It's pure short in front of Gabby. Sorry, that's why I'm going through all the article.
Do you think Paramount's going to go push hard after Jack Carr?
That would be a fucking genius thing to do. Get him away from Amazon.
Yes,
absolutely. That would be a genius move that I would, if I was Ellison, I would say, yeah, get him.
Yeah.
Pay
him. Pay the man.
Competition between studios. We want them actively going against each other and competing against each other. That competition will give us higher quality TV and movies.
We were talking about Call of Duty earlier. Before he leaves, though, Sheridan will help Paramount deliver on one of Ellison's biggest priorities. He's been tapped to write the screenplay for Call of Duty, an adaptation of the popular video game franchise that encapsulates the kind of patriotic, flag-waving films that the studio wants to make. Directing the film is Peter Berg, who recently said, and this is bad to them, who recently said on the Joe Rogan Experience, I think Trump's doing some great things. The type of sentiment that could...
I'm more interested in Call of Duty just from hearing that.
Yeah.
Me too. So, and I do also like this. They say in person, Ellison is an aw shucks demeanor and strikes people who have worked with him as wonky, unfailingly polite, and a little shy. Since he took the reins of Paramount,
a little tismy like Elon Musk. It's Elon taking over X.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a reason for the cultural shift. After all, Larry Ellison's loyalty to the president has already paid, and this is where they intimate that this is all collusion. Has already paid off. The Trump administration greenlit the Paramount Skydance merger, despite antitrust concerns, and allowed the Oracle co-founder to be part of a consortium to acquire TikTok that also includes conservative-leaning Murdoch. Yeah. Now Ellison advisors are privately crowing that they are the only viable choice to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, given that rivals would face obstacles from U.S. regulators, whereas the Ellisons could get the deal done. Trump has already given Vice a vote of confidence, saying that CBS News has great potential and that he expects coverage to be fairer now, which it does have great potential. And I do expect it to be fairer now. For his part, Trump told the press gaggle aboard Air Force One in mid-October that Larry and David Ellison are friends of mine. They're big supporters of mine. Then with a line that could have been lifted from The Godfather, the president added, and they'll do the right thing. Jesus. So there you go.
Yeah, these people aren't handling all of us eating their lunches very well at all.
That's what I thought. Unfailingly polite is one of the nicest things you could say about someone.
So they just signed Jon Stewart back on for 1 year.
Till 2026, right?
Yeah,
or through 2026 to weekly, right? Because wasn't he like off and on? He was sharing it with other people.
Yeah. A bunch of comedians you've never heard of would guest host.
Oh, no. It's... Yeah, they always expose themselves, and I do like this.
Paramount Skydance is enemy number one, but then once you buy all the shills from Warner Brothers, then what's going to happen? That's what I want to know. The mental gymnastics they're going to have to do.
Think about how many people.
I don't see James Gunn lasting. There's no hope in hell for him to be part of Paramount.
Among Paramount's competitors, Netflix is said to be the most shaken by Ellison's arrival, and we just heard them hiring the same law firm that advised on Paramount Skydance's merger. Netflix hired them, and then apparently they have access to Warner Brothers data information. They can look at their numbers basically. They say here, blah blah blah, and they're shaken by Ellison's arrival and his seemingly endless supply of capital. A spokesperson for Netflix denies that characterization. Okay, duly noted. Paramount's resurgence
Rumors.
comes as Netflix is being targeted by the MAGA faithful with calls for consumers to cancel their subscriptions due to what they label as woke. The thing's going after kids. Yeah, content aimed at kids. And Wall Street seems to have its concerns, handing Netflix on October 22nd its single worst day since, that's when all the fun things that Elon Musk shared it.
Had to deal with the Obamas. Trump also hates Comcast, which would be like NBC Universal. There aren't any other options but Paramount Skydance.
So Paramount apparently has a blacklist for stars deemed overly anti-Semitic. This all stems from that 3,900 industry-wide people that signed their thing that they want to go against whatever. They don't want to work with any film institutions in Israel because genocide in Gaza, that multiple different organizations have ruled there is no genocide, but that's fine. David Cornsweet apparently was not on. He doesn't want to get blacklisted by Paramount. He apparently was not on that list of people that signed. You see here, Film Workers for Palestine. We would like to correct the record that David Cornsweet did not sign the Film Worker Pledge to End Complicity. We have a stringent verification process, but this one slipped through the cracks. We apologize for the confusion.
But didn't James Gunn?
I don't know, but if he did, it wouldn't be well. So James Gunn's DCU in jeopardy as Paramount signals major political shift to MAGA. Last we heard, according to this from Bloomberg, they're going to keep creative teams. John Campe asked his sources, and he says, does that include James Gunn and Peter Safran? They said yes. Now, that being said, I think that just defaults to what I guessed, and others have says that he will be under heavy creative shackles that he might just bounce out himself. Yes, he is. Probably would not behoove him to sign the fucking...
But it's either way of that. That's such a hot button topic. If you're an actor, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Regardless of what side you're on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Much relief. It's kind of like what she says in Lord of the Rings about women here learned long ago that just because we don't live by the sword doesn't mean we can't die by them. Yeah, they don't give a fuck if you're a non-Zionist Jew. You'd still be strung up just with the rest of them. So you got to kind of be a little bit tribal in that regard. I get it. Well, the fucking writers sure were.
Yep.
Let's not forget. So yeah, I don't know. It's up in the air still. Gooch, what you think? He's gone. You think you just think he's gone?
I just don't see a path to keep him. Like he has that everything he's touched has been unsuccessful. It's been way below